Did you know that this is your pant size?
No.
So if you...
I wish.
It's or half... let me say this again. It's half of your pant size. So if you take your jeans, off and button them, leave them buttoned, leave them together like this, and go around your neck, they should meet about perfect.
Really? Huh.
You'll have to try that when you take your pants
off.
I
will.
You go to a store and you're like,
that makes
you don't
me
have
feel
time
kind
to
of
try
better.
them on. Yeah, I know, because you're like, twice that. That's all. And you just leave them buttoned and you do that. And if they meet, they're going to fit you. I mean, you might not love the look, it might not be flattering, but they're going to button.
They're going to button. Yeah. Welcome to Someone's Random Kitchen in my temporary home this week. I am Brittany Bass, a full-time passenger seat princess and operations manager of Matt Becker Fishing. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am also Matt Becker's girlfriend. He's a professional bass fisherman with Major League Fishing on the Bass Pro Tour, and we are in our second year with that tour. So with this channel and podcast, I plan to bring some of the best wives, fiancés, and girlfriends, even some mothers on to talk about their lives, their families, their superstitions, because we got them too, and all the back-end goodness that goes into making a tournament season successful. So this is episode 6 of Random Kitchens. Welcome back, everyone. We are currently still filming while we're in South Carolina, but when this episode airs, we will be headed to Birmingham, Alabama for Redcrest, or the next event. So check MLF.com to see how everything shook out with Stage 2 here in South Carolina. But today, I am super excited to introduce to you a very outnumbered, but very supportive wife and mother to 3 fishermen. So please welcome the mother of Mitchell and Marshall and wife of Marty the Party Robinson, Iris Robinson. Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Very excited to have you. So there's definitely a lot to break down today with you having 3 fishermen on a couple of different circuits. So we're going to just start from the beginning real quick. For people who don't know you, who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Iris Robinson, and we are from Landrum, South Carolina.
Okay, and that is how far from here?
3 hours. 3 hours from upstate. We're in the upstate, not the low state. Everybody thinks, oh, you're from South Carolina, you're from Charleston. No, the right opposite. We're the upstate. At the mountain. We live in the mountain. Because you've got mountains in the upstate all the way to the coast. It just gradually steps itself down in South Carolina.
That's kind of beautiful. That's like Virginia, too. We have the Blue Ridge, and it goes all the way to Virginia Beach.
Yeah, it's just like that.
I like it. So how many years have you and Marty been fishing on a professional circuit?
He went pro in 2007, so I think this is like 18th season.
Dang.
Something like that. If I don't stop and add it up, 17th, 18th. I think it's the 18th season.
And what about your boys?
So this is Marshall's first year pro because he just turned 20.
Right.
And so Mitchell will be Mitchell's first year on the Tackle Warehouse Invitational.
Perfect. And he is gearing up to go pro, hopefully.
Hopefully so.
Yes. Fingers crossed, everyone. And do you travel full time with Marty?
Not full time. I never really wanted to do homeschool full time. And so we would just when the kids were in school, we'd leave after school on Thursday, just drive to wherever he was at or fly to where he was at, spend the rest of the time. Make it a long weekend, and obviously the summers we would go the entire summer. So we try to go as much as we can, though. So we definitely would we would save our sick days, use them for fishing.
I like it. And now, are you full time now that they're both out?
So Mitchell just finished. He doesn't graduate until May.
Okay.
So he's still technically
he's
in high
18.
school. Yeah, he just turned 18 in November. So he finished school as far as classes in December.
Okay.
And then, so this is really my first chance to be full-time travel.
Oh.
So yes, I'm going to be full-time travel, but not just with Marty.
Right. You split the circuit.
Him and Marshall have each other out here, so I'll probably be with Mitchell more.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
So obviously I wanted this podcast not only so everyone could get to know the faces and families behind the fishermen, but also so the wives and girlfriends could kind of meet each other if they haven't met yet. Especially on the BPT, there's A and B days, so you may or may not be able to meet everyone in one season. And last year was our first year on the BPT, so kind of due to those A and B days, I really hadn't gotten a chance to really sit down and meet Iris, so I'm just as excited to meet you as everyone else.
You're going to be learning stuff about me today.
I know. I'm super pumped about it. So plan is to dive into Tournament World first, take a little break, and then do you and Marty's story.
Okay.
And kind of like where y'all came from. So diving into the Tournament World side, just to set the stage, kind of like what we said, she is the wife of Marty and the mother to Marshall and Mitchell. And everyone knows, or just so everyone knows, Marty and Mitchell, like she said, are on the Bass Pro Tour. And then Mitchell is fishing the Invitationals, which is the qualifying tour for the Bass Pro Tour. So first, and I asked Matt, and I'll tell you his answer, how did Marty become Marty the Party?
You got to tell me how
I was like, Matt, how did Marty become Marty the Party? And he goes, I guess he likes dancing. And I was like, what kind of dancing, babe? And he was like, I don't know. He probably just like, and I was like, Matt, what? He was like, you're going to have to ask Iris.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So even back when Marty was young, he is a big time dancer, loves to dance and everything. So when he was young, they used to call him Party Marty. But Dave Mercer didn't know that, So Dave Mercer with Bass is who actually named him Marty the Party, and that was because when Marty made his first Bassmaster Classic, we kind of made a bet, and I said, if you make the Classic, you need to come out dancing on your boat, or I said dance on the stage. I think he turned it into dancing on the boat, and so. He after he made the Classic, I said, I meant that. You actually have to do it. As he come down, when they stopped the boat, he jumped up and did a whole dance routine on the boat.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good. And then Dave was like, Marty's bringing the party. It's Marty the Party. So that's where that came from. And so,
I heard he gives good nicknames.
Yeah, he did. And then so he danced every Classic he made. It became, because everybody's like, you're going to dance, right? And so that's where it came from. But he's not he's not like go to the club party or nothing. It's the dancing part.
Is it like light bulb or like what kind of?
No, it's whatever comes to his mind. It's a lot.
Whatever he's feeling.
It's real random. It's a lot of like hip grinding kind of stuff. We actually
he's twerking before twerking.
We actually back in 2010 we won a dirty dancing contest.
I love it. Did y'all do the?
We didn't do the lift because I'm a bigger girl. Like I'm kind of hard to lift. Yeah, I'm 5'10", and like it's kind of hard. We do it in the water. We practiced it in the water, and we could do that, just like that scene. But we never thought it was safe.
Did y'all do that dance?
Oh yeah, we did. Well, we didn't do the end scene dance. We do all the stuff in the middle.
The grinding one.
Yeah.
I like it.
It was like a.
Do y'all get down at like the parties?
We do get down at the parties.
I'm so pumped.
We really love to. We don't go clubbing, so we love weddings.
Yeah.
We love weddings. So
they have better music anyway.
Yeah, we can show off our moves at the wedding.
Do your boys have any nicknames
yet? So, no. But Marshall is an incredible dancer.
So like a mini party.
But better. Marshall can take any dance you can. Marty's a freestyle type. Do whatever comes to mind. Marshall, if you have a dance, like you know how everybody will watch a TikTok dance and do it. He can do any of it. If he sees it a few times, he can repeat it.
Is he on TikTok dancing?
No, because it's just not his thing to be like, he's not on attention, trying to get attention or anything. So it's pretty amazing. I'll show you some videos in a little bit.
Yes, please do.
Nobody can Dougie like Marshall can, I have to say.
What about Mitchell?
He's decent, but he's not. He's a decent dancer. He's not like just let it go loose like them. But he will dance. He will dance though.
What do you think his nickname would be?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. Mitchell, and we can dive into this later. Their personalities are opposite.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, they're very opposite. Mitchell's like high strung. Marshall's real low key, laid back. But they're the very best of friends.
Are you and Marty like that, where y'all's personalities are exact opposites? Or
I'm more high strung and he's laid back.
I like it.
I guess I say that Mitchell is Marty as a child and Marshall is Marty now. Because from what I hear, Marty was
a little crazy
when he was young.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's where you gotta be to get places and do things and make things happen.
So he settled down and he's real laid back now. But yeah.
Good.
I think it's just two different personalities of Marty.
I like it. So how did they all three get to the levels that they're at? So like with Marty, where did he start?
Marty never fished till 7th grade. And in 7th grade, he had a friend that got him into bass fishing. He had fished, some pond fishing with live worms with his grandpa growing up. But he didn't come from a family background of fishing, anything like that. He just had a buddy that introduced him to it. So that was the first time he used artificial baits. But when he did, he just fell in love with it. And so he just started fishing all he could. So he's a lot self-taught because, you know, obviously we didn't have YouTube. And he would read all the books, you know, that different people, like the David Fritz books and Kevin Van. And back when they wrote books, you know, back then those anglers wrote books.
The articles were really, really good and detailed.
Yeah. He would read, I think you could believe it a little more back then. I think, you know, we're a little more secretive these days with wanting to tell how we catch fish. But he read all the Bassmaster articles, you know, back in the day and all that. And so he's kind of self-taught, which is slow. You know, it's slow to self-teach. Where my boys, they had a bigger advantage because I feel like we ran a professional bass fishing school. I didn't know we were doing it at the time, but looking at it now, it feels like that's what happened.
We're doing that.
That feels like what happened. We kept them on the lake when we would go, like say we were here right now. After the tournament's over, everybody leaves, we stay. We would stay, and as a family, the four of us.
Go back through it?
We go back fishing. And if it's not this, if it's one that's somewhere though, like say the Finger Lakes in New York, if the tournament was on Cayuga, we would go to Seneca, you know, and just do a family fun
kind
fishing.
Of expand
a little bit. If we get there before, or if he didn't make the cut, you know, you don't go back out on the same lake everybody's still fishing on. We go to a nearby lake. That's what they wanted to do. And people ask me all the time, why do you think they love fishing so much? I think it's because they learned how to catch bass at a young age. They're not going to the lake and just fishing and not catching stuff because you're going to lose interest quick.
Oh, yes.
But because they were so young and learned techniques so young, they could catch fish so well that they just wanted to catch more.
Really enjoyed it. It's like a game.
It is. It's like a game. And it's funny you say game. You know how everybody says the forward facing is kids are good because they have, my kids have never owned a gaming system.
Yeah.
We didn't have a Wii. We didn't have a PlayStation. We've never owned a gaming system.
Well, they were playing their own game out there.
Yeah.
A real life one, which I think is better. Get them outside.
We never did. Marty always said if we get them a gaming system, no offense to anybody that buys a gaming system, they would go to their friends' houses and play.
Yeah, and play.
But Marty's like, I don't want them to ever have a reason to sit in the house.
Yep.
And I said, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, our family was one that was like an outside family, and if we had too much energy, Mom would be like, take a lap, go outside, like run around. You guys got, you know, too much going on. We had like an hour of TV time, and it was like Saturday morning when cartoons came on, you know, like they didn't believe in it, or not believe in it, but they just wanted everyone out.
Yeah, and we lived for 15 years. We lived on a lake, and so they could come. They would come home from school and go straight and get in. We had a little John boat with a tiller handle. Not sure that was the safest looking back, but they did it. I mean, we got their boater's license when they were like 10 and 12 so that they could go out and do by themselves. And so it was just like a small 500-acre lake at home. And we just moved off of there recently. But they learned so much living on that lake about what fish do all year long. And because it's a tough lake, no spotted bass, all largemouth. So it was tough. So it's been good, but that's where they got a lot of it too. The key was keeping them on the water. They literally are on the water. I can't count the days in a year. Even growing up, they were still on the water.
So, and then did they go high school fishing, college fishing?
Okay, so
BFL, how did they?
Both of them high school fishing. High school fishing has been huge. You know, I think that's.
I love that it's gotten so much bigger.
It's
like 5 years, right? I mean, it's insane.
Huge. And in South Carolina, it's super competitive. And so Marshall first fished high school like a full season in 8th grade. We kind of, believe it or not, we missed the bus on when high school fishing started. You would think we would be the ones that saw it happen.
Y'all didn't even
we were gone. We were fishing somewhere else, and all of a sudden everybody's like, "Why is Marshall not doing, you know, middle school fishing?" I'm like,
"Is that a thing?
Can he start right now?" And they're like, "They can start in 6th grade," and he was in 7th grade when somebody told me this, and I'm like, "How did I miss this?"
Yeah.
So he fished maybe one tournament his 7th grade year because it was toward the end of the season when he found out, and so 8th grade he signed up to fish all of them. And when he would I'm trying to think if it was when he was in 9th grade, I became their high school fishing coach.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
Mitchell 6, 7,
Like
Mitchell
ran their boat?
6.
Is that how that works?
No, I mean I coached the whole high school team.
Oh.
The Burns high school team.
Oh my
it's 518 in South Carolina. And the coach left. He was a great guy. He left and went to another school, left this team left them without a coach.
Oh, no.
And it's not like basketball or volleyball where there's a teacher there that is planning on,
like
it's not something,
yeah.
It's not something that a lot of people still are ready to take on.
Yeah.
It's still that new.
Yeah.
And so there were several dads on the team that was like, why don't you do this? Because I had been helping bring food and stuff and come to all the tournaments that 8th grade year of Mitchell's. So I've coached it for 6 years. And so Mitchell's senior year, I turned it over to another guy, a dad on the team. He does a fantastic job. I kind of handpicked him because he's been already a captain, a boat captain, and he's been great. I'm like, he's going to really, I wanted to give it over to somebody that really cared about it.
Yes, and would take care of it.
And so he's done great. So I haven't really coached. This is my first year not coaching.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So, and they never seemed to mind that their mom was the fishing coach.
No.
Marty helped a lot.
I was about to say, I feel like you have been around it enough, know enough about it. It's not like you're just someone's mom coming into it. You are.
That's right.
The party's wife. Like, what's going on. Well, fished. Like,
right. And since then, there's been several mom coaches for these teams.
I think
it's kind of like everybody's like.
Yeah, Missy said she helps with hers too. Yeah.
Missy did too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So they went from high school to college, or Mitchell's going. Is he going to college?
No, I'll tell you what. Marshall got a scholarship to go to college, and about 2 weeks before move-in date, because Marshall's straight still in the middle of college age right now.
Right.
He just turned 20.
20.
And so right before time to move in, he said, because we have a lot of great colleges in South Carolina, fishing-wise. You got Lander and Erskine right there, and he was going to go to Erskine. And so he said, this is not what I want to do. And we have a plumbing business as well, which is successful. And he was like, I just want to fish. And to be honest with you, college is great for plenty of people. He was super prepared. He had already taken several college classes, honor student, really great. So it's not, I've had people say, oh, it wasn't meant for some people. I'm like, no, that's not why he didn't go.
Yeah.
It's not that he wasn't prepared to go to college. He's like, I'm probably going to work in the plumbing industry because trades are great.
Yes. They are amazing, and they're very underrated. My dad owns a crane and trucking company, so definitely get your CDL. Really.
Yes, just because you can go to college doesn't mean you need it. Mm-mm. And so he's like, I already know that I've got, and he had been plumbing anyway with Marty through the summer, you know how you do growing up. He said, so if I go to college, I'm going to get out and probably still be a plumber because it's still probably where the best opportunities for me are.
Yeah.
He said, I really just want to try to make it pro. And we're like, well, that's fine as long as you have a plan.
I like it.
And so he decided not to go. And naturally, little brother's come along like, I like this plan.
Yes.
And so Mitchell kind of has the same plan.
Matt didn't go to college. He knew he wanted to go pro like from a very young age, and like all of his ducks were absolutely pointed in that basket. And
it's working.
I was about to say, I went to college and I have a degree, but I am like not really using it. I'm using more the experience I had, which obviously my career came from my degree. There is need to go to college for certain things, but coming out, I'm like, oh. There's so much debt. Like, I'm still paying on school that now, it is.
I went, and I'm an accountant, and so I am using
your
what
degree.
I learned. But for us, I don't work for somebody else. I work for us.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's mine, directly correlates with now what I'm doing with Matt. So it works out. But, okay, so did Marty always want to be a professional fisherman? Or did he, from 7th grade?
Yeah, from 7th grade. He started watching, back then I think everything was on TNN and stuff he started watching that. And yes, when I started dating him when I was 16, and he was like, I want to be a professional fisherman. He's a little older than me. And I said, they have that? And he said, yeah. I didn't have satellite. I didn't see any of that, those pro fishing Bassmaster on TV. I didn't see any of that. And so he told me that right when I started dating. We're like, all right, well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Whatever, we'll do that.
We'll do that.
Let's just be together.
Sign me up, yes.
I'll do it. I'm here for it.
No, I love it. What would he say is his favorite moment so far of his career, or biggest high point?
Gosh, that's kind of hard because...
Actually, if you don't mind, can you back me up? Take me through... So he was started in 07 with the elites.
Yes.
And then did he do FLW before BPT?
He did. No, he fished a few. You remember when they had those FLW opens that you could jump in? He fished a few of those. But if we back it up, The first thing he did do was BFLs, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is where he got his first start and working in that direction.
Yes.
He did BFLs, won the points in, like the Savannah River BFLs in 2006. And because Marty didn't go pro until 33, because financially, we didn't grow up, we both didn't grow up with, I know people, will say, oh my gosh, your daddy buys you this, your daddy buys you that. Well, we do things like that for our boys because we like seeing them on the water. It's a perfect place for them to be. But
Matt always says if I had kids, you're telling me I wouldn't give them it.
Yeah.
Give them what we need, what they need.
But for Marty, he didn't have that ability. Somebody wasn't able to do that for him. So we had to work our way up to being able to afford the boat and the truck and everything. Because he's been a plumber forever, but he worked for other companies. You don't make your money that way as well. So when Marshall was born, we opened our own plumbing business so that I could stay home with him. That's what we did because we both worked outside the home. And I'm like, I want to stay home with him and raise him. But he said, well, the only way we're going to do that is if I start my own business. So that's when we did that. And so that was when he was 30. And so about 2000, he had always fished BFLs here and there. But 2006 was the first time he'd ever fished the whole season.
Gotcha.
Because it was only, he could get enough time work off because he was his own boss.
He was his own boss, yeah.
And that's how that kind of got into that. So he ended up, he won the points that year in 2006. And he also fished the Everstarts because he was like, I'll either get into FLW or I'll get into bass. It didn't matter which one. He just wanted to fish pro. And so he fished the Everstart series back then, is what it was called. It's the Toyota, which is the Toyotas. With the Costas now, it's the Toyotas. Yep. And then he fished the Bassmaster Opens because 2006 is when the Elite Series formed and you could finally get in the Opens because they weren't so full. You weren't on a waiting list.
Okay, so they separated it out a little bit.
They separated out a little bit so you could have the Opens. That's when the Opens started like that. That's when the whole break. 2006 was when you had the Opens in the Elite Series.
Okay.
It's still kind of what it is to this day.
Right.
So in the BFLs, he's a good bit older than, this is how lets you know how long he's been rooming with Casey. So in 2006, they decided to travel together. Him and Casey and Jason Williamson that still fishes the Elites, they all fished the Savannah River BFLs, the Everstart Series, and the Bass Opens.
Oh.
And Jason actually fished the Northern Opens as well.
Yeah.
So they were all determined to get in. They all kind of looked up to Marty. They were young. They're
Casey, Ashley.
Casey's 10 years younger than Marty, and Jason's about maybe 7 years younger than Marty. So that Marty was there. Yeah. Marty's like not scared to travel. Okay. Yes. None of them had hardly left South Carolina. And Marty's like, we got this. Yes. We're traveling. I think those
Pack it up, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, the Opens went to like Texas. They went to just places none of them had been. Yeah. And with Marty was grown. Okay, he was 33, and so he's grown. Yeah. They're in their early 20s. So anyway, so they take off, and they all three made it pro that year, which is unheard of.
That is crazy.
It was crazy, and they all made it a different way. Like, so that had to be in the top 10, I think, in points to make it that year. And so I told you Jason fished the Northern Opens as well. He made it through the Northerns. Casey made it through the Southerns. Marty finished 11th. And so it was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be the one out. Yeah. Well, they had a wild card to where the guys that didn't requalify for the Elites fished against like 11th through 25th in the Opens. And those top 10 went to the Elites. Marty finished like third in that tournament.
Oh my gosh.
He really ended up doing well because they gave you $10,000 towards your entry fees that year when you qualified that way. So anyway, all was well in the world. All three of them made it. They all went on to the Elite Series. So that's how Marty made it pro.
And then he was with the Elites
for fifth
until 2019.
Until 2019.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's been a fun career. We and then the boys just they just you want me to go into that, how the boys became pro? Are we ready for that? So Marshall didn't decide to go to college, so he got in the Toyota Series, which kind of to work his way up. Never fished any BFLs or anything, just jumped because you had high school. Yeah. So he fished 2 Toyota Series while he was still in high school, and that really is probably why he didn't go to college. That was our bad because we got in. He got that in his head. And he did pretty well.
Start.
And he's like,
start turning the tournament winnings over, and you're like, I could make this happen.
Maybe if he had finished
especially
200.
Toyotas, because the rate of return on a Toyota series is like, especially if you make championship. It's all above board.
Yeah, they are good.
They're so good.
So if he had maybe finished 200th, it might would have. But since he did well, he's like, oh. So he jumped in Toyotas the first year out of high school, and then made it to the invitationals, and then Rookie of the Year.
Yes, I know. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I saw plenty of pictures and obviously we roomed with Drew Gill and they were like battling it out at the end. Oh yeah. So we were following it extremely closely, but congratulations.
That was a stressful year.
It was, wasn't it ounces too? Like they were like neck and neck the whole year.
Yeah, they ended up 5 points. It was a 5-point difference at the end of the year, I believe it was.
Gosh,
yeah. So that last tournament was super stressful because Drew had a really great, like a top, what did he finish 5th in the last tournament, at the last tournament of the invitationals that year? And so Marshall had a tiny cushion of maybe 20 points coming in, and Drew basically earned 15 of them back in that event. So thankful for a little cushion going to that final tournament.
Dang.
Because Marshall finished in the 20s. Neither one of them did bad in the last tournament, but it was tight.
So tight. I love that though. It's those battles are just as exciting as like each tournament battle, I think.
What's fun with that, in the beginning of the year when they start naming who to watch, Drew and Marshall were not
on the list.
That wasn't who they were watching.
I love the underdog.
Yeah, the underdog story's fun. I'm like, Marshall, they're not even talking about you.
No, just sneak attack, babe. Sneak attack. That's what
I tell Mitchell right now. I'm like, they're not even talking about you. I know. Just make them talk about you. You have to make them talk about you.
Make them learn your name and then remember it forever. I know, it's awesome. So what was his biggest high or like favorite moment of his career? I kind of backtracked a little to find out how he got here, because I really didn't know, honestly. Yeah.
So I would say his first, when you're fishing, obviously the first is when you just make it pro in general. I mean, that's, I was singing at a church that night.
You sing?
Yes.
Sorry to random tangent again, but I wish I could sing.
And so, and he called me, he's like, I did it. So that's when he made pro. But I think two of the most exciting moments, number one was making your first Bassmaster Classic.
That's huge.
It's so huge because that's, that was just what you're working for all this time. Yeah. And then, but he never won a Bassmaster tournament. Came so close, just near misses. Dang. But then, so when he won the Major League Fishing Cup event,
yes,
that was, that's going to be, your huge, your huge
go
win.
down in history.
Yeah, your huge win. So that's probably the two moments I would say.
What about you? What is his career so far? Let's do his and Marshall's.
Okay.
Your favorite moment?
I think my favorite moment for Marty was just making it pro in general. Because he was 33. It's not like, you're doing it when you're 20. Yeah. Like, it's getting younger and
younger. And you have time.
Yeah. Because I saw the process he went through. It is literally starting from the bottom and working your way up. He did have to buy his own boat. He's driving around, like, if you back up to what he was driving, used boats and used trucks and stuff to do it with. And working full-time. And he still works full-time. Working full-time, paying your own way, doing anything you can to get there. And then being 33 years old, you've already got your wife and kids, and then having that moment happen.
Having it all come to
it makes you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody that's 20 that wins a tournament, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if you didn't struggle to get there.
Yeah.
You're enjoying it and you can appreciate it, but you can't appreciate it as much as if you had to do that to get there.
Yeah.
So, just that moment of making it pro. It's not even the wins. It's not even it was just making it.
It's like all of everything in your life finally hit a point.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I love those stories. I like passionate people, and I think passionate people stem from struggle, or I feel like more passionate people stem from struggles.
Yeah, you do.
All right, so if you need to answer it, you can. It's okay. We tell you that through. And I was on I was doing the podcast with Katie, which y'all are gonna watch next week, and their house was like kind of lighting up with flames a little bit, and so Dylan was on the phone. I was like, please answer it. Like, it is totally fine. Okay, so because we kind of hopped around a little bit here, so let me see. Y'all's biggest challenge in his fishing career, and how did you overcome it?
Running a business. So he has a full-time plumbing business, and they're blowing your phone up when you're out of town.
Yeah.
And you're trying to balance that. You're trying to compartmentalize. You're trying to keep them two separate, but you can't keep it separate because it don't cut off just because you had a tournament to go to. And so it's just, it's a lot of stress. I think it has hurt him. Like, it's been fantastic, obviously, because
to have both,
because you have a secure, guaranteed job waiting on you at home that you're in complete control of. But unfortunately, you are in complete control of it. So if anything goes wrong and you're in Texas, I mean, it's a problem, so.
Does he answer calls out on the, does he have to do?
Yeah, see, you can't, they let you do that now.
Oh, yeah. No,
but in the past, there's other times in the past, like,
that
in the elites, that you're not allowed to take personal calls on the water and stuff. So they would come to me. They'd fill me out. Like, it better if he gets those calls.
Yes.
But, so yeah, he has had to just flat out answer straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, calls about jobs on the water. He has to do it sometimes. That's been the hardest thing. It's a blessing. We're glad to have it, but it's really hard to have to do that at the same time.
Yeah, shift your mind. You're focused on fishing, and then you have to, stop and start.
During those 15-minute breaks, sometimes he will totally stop, call, and completely, especially if Marshall is at home doing a job, obviously not now because he's going to be here. But last year, Marshall will be at home doing a job, and Maury and him be talking about what's going on in the 15-minute breaks.
Yeah.
So you can't be tying lines and focusing it if you're. So I think it had to take his focus away. I know it's hurt him as far as, I'm sure it's taken some points away.
Yeah. Depending on the event.
So that's the hardest thing, to balance the job with the job, the two jobs.
No, that makes sense. And then we kind of talked about this. Both of your boys do want to fish professionally ultimately. That is their goal?
Yeah. That's their decision. We never forced it on them.
No.
They would want to go fish and stuff. We never put them in the boat. This is what we're doing. This is what you're doing. It's not going to work if you do that.
No.
It has to be what they want. So it's both of them. They developed a love for it through all of our life. Not that we didn't want that to happen. We definitely.
Yeah.
We definitely.
You're hoping.
I don't know if we're smart for that or what, because
I think you are. This is a great life. There's a lot, but it's a great
lot.
Life.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for them because I don't think. I mean, I hope I don't say something too negative here. I don't think pro fishing's in its prime.
Yeah, no, I mean...
It's harder than ever.
Yes.
To make it all the way around.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's seen better days. Maybe it'll see better days again. But it's a little bit of a struggle right now.
I'm hoping it's all a cycle, because I do think they work so hard. I hope that everything on the back end that they really can't control kind of comes to fruition a little bit. But
a lot of that's just the economy. I mean, that's what's driving, I think, pro fishing to be such a struggle right now.
Yeah.
And it's across... I know MLF gets a lot of negativity, but it's not fair to give MLF all the negativity because it's happening to all the circuits.
Yeah.
They're all having to deal with inflation and everything and splitting sponsor dollars and everything.
Yeah.
I think we just take the biggest brunt of the negativity for it.
I would say that, or some people are the loudest about it.
Yeah. That's right.
That makes sense. But so when you guys knew that they wanted to become professional fishermen, what was y'all's biggest or first piece of advice kind of going into it?
The backup plan.
Yep.
Just keep on learning your trade. Just keep on learning how to plumb. This business is always going to be here. Mm-hmm. And
even if toilets start flying,
you're
gonna need somebody.
Yeah, you're gonna need a plumber.
Sinks,
okay?
Literally. Yeah. All underground piping, unless they figure out a way to put that in the cloud somehow.
Yeah, you're gonna. I mean, it's a good thing to have. And I've had a lot of anglers say it to me. At least Marty has a backup plan. At least this, that, and the other. And now that's a choice.
Yeah.
Anybody can have a backup plan. It's a choice you have. We just didn't put all our eggs in one basket because we didn't start fishing pro as a kid, as a young person. We didn't. He was already.
Sorry to back up a little. How did he become a plumber? Did his dad have that trade?
No,
or how did he find it?
My family.
Oh, cool.
When he, I know we'll get into later how me and him met.
Yeah.
But he worked a summer with my uncle. My uncle has a plumbing business.
Oh, okay.
He worked a summer with my uncle, and they had a layoff at the plant that Marty worked at. And he worked a summer with my uncle plumbing, and then he had his best friend's company was hiring a plumber. So Marty just slid on that.
I like
it. He probably didn't know near as much about plumbing as he said he did in that interview. That's okay, because that guy ended up loving Marty.
I was
because
gonna say,
Marty learned on the job. He learned very fast.
Sometimes you just gotta fake it till you make it in the interview, and then you can learn on the job.
Yeah, he faked it till he made it. He's like, yes, I absolutely know a lot.
Yeah, I have redone an entire bathroom. I have redone a whole house, 20 houses.
He had the faith in himself that he could do it, and then he lied through the rest of it. He was like, I can do this. I know it. So it was good.
No, I love that. That's funny. What do you think the most important off the water skill is that they need to learn? So the backup plan is good, but as far as the fishing advice, like relative to the actual fishing, I feel like that's like the smallest portion. You need to have an act and a passion and all of that. But for the career, what do you think the biggest like off the water thing they can do is?
Well, I think me and Marty talk about this and everything in relationships and work is don't be lazy. You just have to have a work ethic that just won't quit. You just have to want to work at stuff. At anything you do, you have to want to succeed at anything, not just fishing. So you just have to really not be lazy. That's Marty's favorite thing to say. Don't be lazy. That's what he tells me all the time. Don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy.
In everything. Don't be lazy.
Do it well and right the first time. I like it.
If you're going to do it, why waste your time not doing it right,
well,
not
and
doing it hard?
If you don't do it right or don't do it to the full extent, you're going to redo it anyway, and it's going to take twice as long.
Now, if Marty is on a plumbing job, he's bad about letting you figure it out. So he'll go in there, I need these piped together, this has got to do this, and that's what I want that to do. And this is how he handles it. If he comes back in the room and you've piped this intricate system and it's wrong, he'll say, cut that out and start over and walk back out. I think that's the whole do it right the first time thing.
Do it right the first time.
And if you don't know how to do it right the first time, then you probably should ask questions rather than do all that. And I think that's why he tells people to cut it back out. He's like, you didn't ask. You just rolled with it and you did it wrong, so now you can redo it.
Yeah.
He's really he's more hardcore at plumbing with people than anything else.
I was about to say, he seems so like...
Yeah.
mellow and soft-spoken otherwise.
He is.
But I like that, though. I think a lot of people struggle to ask for help. So teaching them to ask for help like that, I think, is good.
Marty, he's a jack of all trades, a master of a couple.
Yeah, I like it. And, hey, at least a couple.
I say he's a master at plumbing, a master at fishing. So, I mean, but he can do a little bit of everything. But he will never sit there and be too scared to call. Like, when he wants to build something, he'll call who he knows that he thinks does that the best. And he'll give them a list of questions and everything, and then he'll go do it. He doesn't just try to guess because he don't have the pride to ask. He will literally, he will do his research and ask anything.
I like it.
And then he takes it and can apply it. So he's not afraid to ask.
Yeah, I like it because then the job is done correct the first time.
He's one of those guys that would stop and ask for directions.
So what is your favorite part about this tournament fishing world in this crazy life? And has it changed over the years, like since your boys have grown up and stuff?
Yes, there used to not be all this negativity.
Yeah.
It's really social media. While it can be great to keep in touch with your friends that live across the country and all that, it lets people hide behind their screen and say the ugliest thing they can possibly say that you never would have had to listen to before social media. It lets people unite and all be negative together. And so rather than be happy, I think social media makes a lot of people miserable. Yeah. And it's just hard to read. I'm a comment reader, and I probably shouldn't be because, it'll drag you down if you start reading comments. But it really depresses me, the attitude. Yeah. That's another thing. We tell the boys to keep a positive attitude because nothing's going to hurt your fishing, working, anything other than being negative. Yeah. So I think the negativity, unfortunately, has gotten to people through the years. That's what I see changing. I think it was a lot happier. But I think that's social media fault. I think
it makes opinions heard that probably should have never seen the light of day. That's also why I wanted to do this because I feel like somehow the industry has gotten to a point where they forgot to see the anglers as humans. Yeah. They just see them as on the TV. And so I really wanted people to meet the family. Like they are humans. They are people. They have struggles, exciting times, all the things. And so I was like, what can I do to try to let people meet the family?
Perfect example.
They're humans.
Perfect example. Marshall is honestly the kindest person ever. He's just the best kid. And not so much of a kid anymore, but I was reading through the comments one day and somebody put, I really like Marty, but I don't think I like his son very much.
Like, you don't even know him.
He doesn't know
I
him.
know. I've told people in the comments before to, like, come and meet me at a tournament before they talk negative about me. Because I'm like, I just want to, like, shake your hand and say hello. Like, if you're going to talk about me, that's fine. But know me. Yeah. You know, like, come and meet me first.
Yeah, we were just so shocked. Marshall's like, why did you say that? I'm like, babe.
Yeah.
They just say whatever. He didn't like the way you look.
Yeah.
There's something about your look they didn't like. I mean, we had people when Marty did dance at the Classic. Such a fun moment. You wouldn't believe the private emails we would get. Why would you do that? That's ridiculous. We're like, why do you care?
Why do you care? And like, my soul told me to dance, okay? Yeah. So like, I'm dancing. I'm happy. This is my happy dance.
Yeah.
Right. So far, what has been the hardest part of all three of them fishing?
Trying to organize it all. I have all three of their emails on my phone. So when they're needing to send in W-9s, contracts, and all that stuff, I monitor all that for them. Financially, keeping three, which Marshall pays his own way. Mitchell's still obviously just
under y'all.
He's still at graduate high school. So I've still got, the financial deal. Like what we did for Marshall is when he started fishing, we kept Marty's boat for an extra year instead of selling his boat. And so he's in his own boat deal now. So by the time he got in his own boat deal, it was time to keep a boat for Mitchell.
Yeah.
So we've been keeping boats for years. You can't sell those boats and that's how you make your money off your boats at the end of the year. So we're boat poor.
Boat poor.
Boat poor.
Boat poor.
Just so basically financial and just coordinating all that is the hardest thing with all three of them fishing.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I know trying to get like Airbnbs for him with 4 people or 3 trucks and boats or 4 trucks and boats is already a nightmare.
The parking is the nightmare.
Yes.
Getting the park. You can find the houses. Yes. You just can't find the parking.
Nope. Yep. And or if you can, they're like an hour out of town or 45 minutes out of town, which doesn't really work all the time. Do y'all all stay together for the tournaments?
Yes. Marty and Casey and Jonathan and Kevin Van Dam all been rooming together the whole time for the Bass Pro Tour. With Kevin retiring, Marshall just kind of slid in that spot, so there's still 4. There's still 4 fishermen. Yeah.
And then for Mitchell's group, does he travel with people as well?
Yes, I've been going to those, but he also travels with another young guy. I guess they're the 2 youngest on the trail, named Alex from back home.
Oh.
And then he runs.
I think I saw. Was his mom with you?
Yeah, we did that. We did the epic.
Yes.
We did the epic mother-son trip. It was funny. I don't know that the boys wanted it to be that way. They were
had fun with it.
We had fun. They were like, "Can we just go and do our thing?" I'm like, "You're not even old enough to rent a hotel room. What you gonna do?" So anyway, we made them let us go. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. They had fun too. But when we're not there, they'll room with Laker Howell, Andrew Nordby, and Ethan Green.
Very nice.
So look good.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good group. Yeah, and they can rent the hotel.
Yeah, and Nordby's 30. Nordby's 30, so we have an adult in the house because Laker's an adult, but he's Mr. Fun, and Ethan's an adult. They're more like just we need somebody super responsible. Yeah,
and he has twins,
That's
right?
Nordby has the twins.
Yeah,
so
he's got to be semi-responsible.
Yeah, he's a dad now, so he's got to be responsible.
You guys got to get him those New Balances. Get him some dad shoes. Yeah. So y'all's typical tournament routine, or do you have a typical tournament routine, like superstitions or things that you do every day before a tournament? Do you wear something funky?
No, I go around. Is your batteries charged? Have you got your boat plug? Did y'all stop at the gas station to get gas? Do y'all have anything to eat? Do you want me to go get ice? That's my typical routine. They're all laid back and like whatever. Nobody's superstitious. Casey is, but not anybody in my family. Yeah, and so we're not typical. We're very extremely spontaneous.
Yeah, I like it.
There's nothing typical about the Robinsons.
No, that's good.
We don't know what we're doing tomorrow.
I like it. So dynamic at home, do the boys take advice from Marty and you and like vice versa, or they kind of have their own styles and like separate it all out?
So they all like to fish differently, believe it or not. They're all,
that's kind of awesome.
If you only knew how far apart Marty and Marshall fish on lakes we go to. It's so funny when you look on I follow them on Life 360 and try to guess what they're doing. And I swear I feel like I can figure out what they're doing.
Yeah.
And but they're never hardly next to each other, or then they'll end up not knowing it and be right on top of each other, not even know it. It's so fun to watch. But most of the time it's like one's here and one's there. And Mitchell's right opposite. They all have different strengths that they like to do. Marty taught them everything he knew to teach them, but then there hit a point where they could turn around and teach him stuff too. Mm-hmm. And especially with forward facing, because you know, they come along without it. I think they're fortunate to come along when they did with both.
Right.
And so
I think so too. That makes them like so dangerous. We talk about it all the time, like that group that like knows how to fish with and without it, like they're gonna be, I mean, they are lethal.
Yeah. And so they're using it and combining it with what they already know. And so for Marty didn't embrace forward facing quite as well as they did, because the older generation just doesn't. They know too much. They know too many things, and have fished a totally different way their whole life. They're not as open to that change. So they literally take Marty out and do like forward facing stuff.
Little seminars.
Little seminars.
Oh, I like it. I mean, that's kind of perfect.
They really do. Because like he's beyond really much teaching them. I mean, he's already taught them all the old school stuff. Yeah. They know it. They grew up around it their whole life. So now they're turning around teaching him some stuff.
I like it. I like the mesh of it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people understand that how well you can use it in cahoots with everything else, you know? They think it's like just out deep, but it's really not. It's kind of cool.
No.
And it's really addicting. Okay. So what do you think their strengths are? Like if they had a favorite way to catch them, do you know what each of those are?
Marshall loves shallow water power fishing.
Okay.
I just don't know these days, you know, you can get in trouble doing it. You can get in trouble in doing it. But he does like forward facing. He does like it, but like he really wanted to come here and be able to just, so he's actually mixing it up though. He's having to do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But Mitchell has embraced fully the forward facing sonar, probably because he's just a little bit younger than them. He still can do both. So I think deep water fishing is a strength of Mitchell's. I really think it is. And shallow water is Marshall loves dirty water. Mitchell wants it to be clear.
Yeah, okay.
They're so opposite.
That is opposite.
And so Marty likes both. I would say Marty likes clear water better than dirty water. They're probably gonna watch this and say, "What is she talking about?" No, I'm just kidding. I think I'm pretty close on that. Marty is he slows down and picks stuff apart. Marshall and Mitchell. Mitchell's a run and gun because, like I said, he's high strung, so he's Marty.
No bite, let's go. No bite, let's go.
Let's go. Let's keep moving.
Yes.
You find fish that way. Sometimes you miss fish that way.
Yeah, sometimes you miss.
So they're all different, believe it or not. You would think they would all fish the same, and they don't.
I like it. Yeah. I think that's good though.
Yeah.
It's kind of healthy. You like find your own little path, you know.
Yeah.
So our last guest asked if you could change one thing about tournament life right now, fishing or non-fishing related, so the home part or the actual on the water part, what would it be?
For me personally, just in general.
Either.
I think I already touched on that. I think I would just wish everybody would just have a more positive attitude. The negativity, I get caught up in just letting it bother me too much. I'm just not a negative person.
Yeah.
I don't try to live that way. And it bothers me for people to just constantly, when we took a break a while ago, I read a comment that I was like,
again.
And it's somebody that should not be commenting some of the stuff that he's saying, but I'm like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get why you wake up in the morning and get on the internet and say, let's see what hateful stuff I can spit out of my mouth today. So I just would like to see people be more positive and be more appreciative of what they're getting to do.
Yeah, agreed. And from your perspective, what makes a successful angler? So, if you had to pick like one characteristic.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the work ethic. Somebody that's going to work super hard. Yeah. You know, you hear people all the time saying, "Oh, it's the hardest working man in bass fishing." Yeah, well, I mean, you can look at it a bunch of different ways. I look at Marty. What he does is kind of, I mean, he's balanced and running a whole company.
Yes.
When he gets home, like when we leave here, if he doesn't make the cut today, we'll get up in the morning and go home. He'll probably be on a job tomorrow night. He'll probably go to it because we're close to home. We're 3 hours from home. He will end up on a job tomorrow. So I just think working hard is making you successful.
Yeah.
Whether it's not really, obviously you can look at how many wins you have, but he's enjoying what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes you
still
successful.
Have a passion for the sport.
Yeah, I think making you successful is if you're really happy at what you're doing. If you're just really happy.
I think so too. We talk about that all the time, especially with like the negative stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, you have to let it all go, because if we're happy, if we're successful, if we are, you know, having the passion, still love to be here, love to be after it, like no one else matters. Everything else goes away. And me, I'm over here like protector. So I really get too involved probably in that. Yeah, and Matt's over here like, I just like catching bass. Like I just want to catch bass. Okay, last question. We're going to take a quick break. So if we had a WAGS, Wives and Girlfriends fishing tournament, which wife or girlfriend do you think would win?
This is good. Let me tell you. Let me just tell you. Can we make this a team tournament? Because let me just say, I don't know how long you followed along with what we've done, but me and Robin Howell.
Thank you. Okay, I have been waiting. Someone told me that y'all like crushed it on this like women's league or something, but no one told me like went into it. Yes.
I did not fish a women's league. She did fish the women's Bassmaster League. Okay.
And like Cheryl did from Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she did do that. That really, that kind of, that's not as much. That was a bigger thing back then than it is now, unfortunately. But anyway, so she did do that. But what me and her have done, we like to take credit for Laker and Marshall's success, and Mitchell now too. And Oakley's a good fisherman, but he gave it all up to go play basketball. But anyway, so what we did the whole time they were growing up, while the guys were fishing, we went fishing. It was the boys. It would be me and Robin against Oakley and Mitchell, the youngest, Laker and Marshall, the oldest. And we would go and we rented motorboats, we rented kayaks, we bank fished, just whatever we could do wherever we were at. I feel like me and Robin did pretty good.
I think so.
Like, we beat them a lot. And like they would poach us. If we were catching them, here they'd come.
They'd come over your hole.
They'd come over to our hole, especially Oakley.
Wait, so y'all were in a boat and they were in a boat?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We would go rent boats wherever we went. We've rented boats everywhere you can imagine.
That is so awesome.
And we catch us some fish. You'll have to scroll back far enough till you can see it. But
so you would crush it.
I'd like to think me and Robin were going to crush that.
I like it.
We've done our fair share.
I think we should, like, just for fun.
It would be fun.
Just like take one out, like their boats on the off day or something.
Yeah,
I think it'd be so fun. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, grab a drink, and we'll be back, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper into how in the world they got here. So we'll see you in a second. All right, we are back. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the juice. So how did you and Marty meet? I know you said like 16, but you were 16.
I was 16. He's a little bit older. But
good for you.
Yeah.
Good for him.
But my mom and Marty worked together at a company. And the company had a softball team, and if your wife worked there, the husband could play on the softball team. So my dad and Marty played on the softball team together. And I seen him, and like I said, he's a little older than me, and so I was younger then than I was when we started dating. And I was like, I'm going to marry him one day. That's what I'm going to do. I got to get a little older because he's a little bit older than me, but I'm going to marry him one day. So I did.
You knew.
I just knew it, and so I did. And I had to kind of stalk. It's a stalking situation. It was a stalking situation.
Hey,
it worked out.
It's not stalking if he didn't know about it.
He didn't know about it, and he kind of knew about it. He was like, okay, little girl. But so it worked out for him, though.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I knew what was best for him.
He married up, even though you were younger.
Yeah, I knew what was best for him before he knew what was best for him. So we made it work. I waited till I got about 16, and I was almost 17, and I was like, it's time.
It's time.
But I had to get permission from my mom. I was like, Mama, please. Oh, please. She's like, he's too old for you. I'm like, please.
So when did you guys get married?
Well, I was 18 when we got married. He's older, like I said. But we've been married for 25 years.
Oh,
yeah,
congratulations. What is that? Isn't that paper anniversary or
is it
silver?
Silver, yeah. Silver anniversary. It's a good one. It's a good one.
That is a good one.
It was October, so it's really over 25 now. We're about halfway through the 26 now.
Oh my gosh. So is he sappy romantic guy? I always ask because I just like to know, because on the water you can't really tell.
No, he's super good. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say sappy romantic as far as like he walking in the door with flowers all the time, but he's very attentive and very much loves me. Pays me a lot of attention and everything. He's great.
Good. And do you remember who said I love you first?
Well, him, because I was not going to say it first.
Did you tell him he was going to say her?
Yeah, I'm very old-fashioned. I wasn't asking him out. I stalked him, but I got myself in the way of him. I still made him ask me out first.
Yes.
I just put myself in his face every time he turned around. Here I am again. Hey,
I'm available.
Yeah, I'm still old-fashioned, even though I stalked him behind the scenes.
I like it. And then we kind of know like how you guys got into fishing. But when he said he wanted to be a professional fisherman, when did you actually find out like what that meant?
Yeah. So he told me that, and I'm like, okay, sure. And he went fishing. I'll tell you this: we never did Saturdays together.
Ah, okay.
He's like, I fish on Saturday.
Oh.
We do Saturday night, or Friday night, but Saturday was Saturday. And I mean, we went fishing together on Saturday.
Right.
I'm just saying it was fishing on Saturday.
Time, yeah.
And so, but so I knew he was serious about it. And so I could tell how serious about it he was. So it was kind of always a thing.
Always there.
Yeah. Didn't know how we were going to do it yet.
Yeah.
Didn't know how we were going to do it yet. Yeah.
But once that came into play, it all fell into
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your go-to date night now? Do you have a go-to date night?
Well, I tell you what, we're gone so much we like being at home.
Yes. Okay.
And so we just built a barn dominium. So our favorite thing to do is do something in the barn dominium.
Yes.
Like build the barn doors, slide barn, because we're still just doing all kinds of stuff. Organizing, because we just moved into it. So we like to just.
And making it home.
Yeah, because we did most of it ourselves, so we just still building stuff.
He
did like up until 1:30 in the morning before he left for here, he finished the tile and the backsplash in the kitchen.
Oh, what color did you go with? Or is
he
it kind of like
clear glass tile, like they're glass white tiles. But they're glass. It looks pretty good.
Ooh.
It looks real good.
I like it. I've seen some green ones that I really like.
Yeah.
Play around with it. So on the road, are you guys eating at home or eating at the Airbnb, or do you guys eat out a lot?
Yeah, no, we cook at the house if we're there. Kenzie, she cooks and stuff if I'm not there. I cook if she's not there. However, Kenzie has not been traveling much this year, neither have I, so they've been eating out a lot. So when I was driving down here the other day, I went down here through practice, and I called, and Marty was fishing. I called Casey, Marshall, and Jonathan, and I said, do y'all want to go eat tonight, or y'all want me to stop and get some steaks? Please stop and get some food. They were missing getting cooked for us. So I cooked when I got down here. So we definitely like to eat at the house.
And I know y'all grew up as a family fishing, but do you and Marty go out and fish together
yes,
still?
We do.
Is it still Saturdays?
It can be any day now.
Yeah, no.
Work for ourselves.
Because you can do whatever you want.
But Saturdays is still for fishing. They still, him and the boys go on Saturdays together. And I don't like to go when it's below 50.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just
fair
wait.
weather fishing.
I like to go when it's warmer. And so, but yeah, we all. I will say this, not to make everybody sad, but I got to thinking the other day. You know how when they were growing up, I always would say, this could be the last time. There's going to be a last time we ever do this. And I told them, I said, there's going to be a time where it's virtually impossible for all four of us to be in the same boat.
Yes.
Because y'all have your own boats. You're not going to want all of us to pack in the same boat.
Yeah.
So me and Mitchell were driving to Texas last week or 2 weeks ago, and I said, I can't remember the last time all four of us were in the same boat. Now we go all to the same lake and like compete against each other.
But everyone has their own boat.
We'll have 3 boats.
Yeah.
Me and Marty will be against them and somebody else. You know? And I'm like, I got sad because I said, I can't remember the last time we were all 4 in the same boat.
Oh.
And so I got to scrolling through my phone. And we used to go to Florida every Christmas to fish, after Christmas. And we haven't went the past few years because we were building.
Mm-hmm.
And so January 1st of 21 was the last picture I found with us all 4 in the same boat.
Oh.
I said,
you have to add that in as a tradition.
Yeah, now I said, next time we all go to the lake, we're going in the same boat.
Yeah, yes.
They're like,
at least for one day.
Just one day, y'all. Just want all 4 of us to be in the same boat. I got pictures of us lined up in the boats together. But
every year.
I'm like, I won't. No, I just think
everybody you mean their boats.
Oh, I'm like, I want us all back in the same boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do a lot of family fishing together.
Oh, I do love that. What is your most memorable fishing or non-fishing memory that you guys have? It can be just you and Marty or y'all's whole family.
I think I'm just going to stick it with fishing because I'm going to be honest with you, we don't do anything else.
I know.
I'm just not going to lie.
Yeah, we
like
are
people tell me all the time, don't you have something outside of fishing? I'm like,
no. But honestly, like, I don't want anything out of it either.
If I had had a daughter that liked to go get her nails done, that's what we would have done.
Yeah, but you can still do that on practice days.
Yeah. I had boys, so I don't have my nails done. Yeah. I don't do that because I have boys, and so I just went fishing with the boys. So whatever, just being together as a family is what makes me happy. So I think my favorite memory, we went down to St. John's River to meet Marty. He was coming up from maybe they had fished Toho or something, and so I met him at St. John's River to fun fish, and it was probably been, I mean, not crazy long ago, say 6, 7, 8 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, I don't know. I'd say 2017. And because we ended up buying a house in Florida. That's why the date popped in my head. We went down there to St. John's River. Marty loves St. John's River. And I mean, I wish one day the Bass Pro Tour would go there. We haven't been. We went there on the Elites, and the Elites still go there. And I don't even think the
Invitationals have been.
No, I want to go to the St. John's River because our family loves to fish there. So we went out on Lake George. It was bed fishing season. And Marty's like, I'm going to put both kids on some big bass. And so he's push poling around.
Yes.
He finds a giant on the bed here and a giant on the bed there. And
like
they both,
two perfectly.
Yes.
Oh.
So Mitchell's working this one.
Oh my
Marshall's
gosh.
working that one. And Marshall catches this one. It's a 9.5. And then Mitchell catches the other one, and it's like a 7. It was just the most fun day.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, they both were just
double
ecstatic.
trouble.
Yeah, it was. That's still
what
Marshall's.
Are the odds?
That's still Marshall's big bass because we live in
Dang.
South Carolina, so
Right.
you're not going to catch a 10.
No.
The fish it wasn't quite 10, but it had this
Big
giant
old head.
and so that's
my
still
gosh.
Marshall's big bass, and it was just I mean, I remember how sunny it was. It was like 75 degrees, and it was like February or March, and I was just like, this is the
like
greatest
a
day.
God day. Yeah,
It's the greatest day. We all caught fish that day, but I was so excited for them. It was just, we got it all on video too.
Oh.
Marshall hates to play the videos because he gets a little psycho when he catches that fish and starts suing all kinds of just like, he's like so embarrassed by it. He's like, please don't play that video ever.
Or please put it on TikTok and share it to everyone.
I'll have to do it one day. He would kill me. He would kill me. We did share it back then on Marty's social media, so it pops up from time to time.
I might have to go searching.
It's funny. It's so funny.
So raising two boys in the middle of the busy life, what do you guys do to manage this like crazy life? I know you guys have kind of taken it on as a family, but is there anything specific? Are you like a list person? Like how do you manage that like others might be able to take a piece of?
Yeah, I'm not the one. I'm not the one to talk about managing. I am not organized, and I'm an organized mess. I know where everything's at.
Hey, Einstein was too.
Like,
He's
it's
brilliant.
just like, we're spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to organize because they don't stick to my organization. If
you did it, they'd be.
Yeah, I was a planner when I met Marty.
Yeah.
And it got exhausting. So we don't plan.
Yeah.
Other than just making sure they have somewhere to stay when they get there.
And the boat plug is in.
Yeah, there's not a plan. There's not much of a plan. I'm
I
just
like
gonna
it.
say we don't know what we're doing tomorrow.
Honestly, though, that's good too.
Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah,
it
I'm
needs
not
to
the
be a
one
little
that-
bit like that.
Yeah, you don't want me to make you an organization chart or nothing. It's not working.
So
But we can train fishermen.
Yes, I was
Send
about to
them
say
over.
you're just a fishing school.
We will teach them how to fish. But
you
know,
really should start charging.
I know it's
Day on the water.
I even have a lot of them. They're like, but how do they do interviews so well? Like they're like way beyond their years in interviews. And this is a funny story for you. I said, well, you know when little girls are pretending to be teachers? I said my kids were pretending to weigh in.
Yeah.
Like I would buy minnows. I hope PETA's not watching. I would buy minnows and let them put them in the bathtub with them, and they would sit there and hold them up and be like, 10 pounds, 7 ounces. And they would interview each other.
Yeah.
So, hey, now they're good at and high school
And
fishing.
they are good at interviewing. Like
They are.
anytime they speak, they are very good at
They are.
interviewing.
They know what they want to say. They know
Yes.
what they're talking about.
Have thought through the thought.
Yeah.
Like they're not tripping over it. They actually acknowledge their sponsors.
Yeah.
Like it's very good.
Yeah, and they're not shy. Shocker. They're not shy because we're not shy, so they're not shy.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Do you find time for yourself during tournament season? And what's something you do that is
No,
for yourself?
I do not. There's nothing.
Hey, at least
No.
you're honest.
No time for me.
I
No,
know.
I mean, but I'm good with that. I just
Yeah.
be funny. I don't do anything outside of fishing.
Yeah,
I
I
get a
like
lot of
it.
people that like they're like, you need something for yourself. I'm like, not if I'm enjoying it.
No,
Yeah.
completely. Like it.
Yeah.
The buck stops if you're not having a good time anymore.
Yeah.
But as long as you're enjoying it, like that is your time for yourself too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I enjoy seeing them happy.
Yeah.
Nothing's more fun than seeing them do well. I do cheer harder for the boys than Marty. In case that's not a question. I do. I don't know why, because obviously I don't get their money. I get his.
yeah.
I don't get their money. But I just
But you
want
had them. You know, like they're part of you.
They're part of me. And
you
he's
chose
the same way.
Marty, but they're part of you.
He's the same way. I told him last night, I said, you know that if I had to choose which one of y'all to have the best week this week, it's Marshall. He said, I know. And I'm like, I just want him. I feel like Marty, you know, I don't want them to have to, I don't mind them struggling a little bit because it makes you appreciate it. But I just want them to come out swinging. I do want them to have a lot of success at FAF. I want it just to come. I don't want them to have to, I don't want them to have to worry about as much running home, making sure they get that next job done. I want the fishing to sustain them, and I just want them to have a real successful career. So
I feel like you would feel like that about Marty if he wasn't as successful as he currently is on and off the water.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people realize Marty's 50. He doesn't really necessarily look it.
No,
everybody
he
thinks
doesn't.
he's younger.
I thought he was younger. I thought him and Casey Ashley were the same age.
Yeah, no, Casey's 10 years younger than Marty.
Oh, shoot.
So he just turned 40. So we've given him a hard time about that. I told him he's catching me. He said he'll never catch me. I'm like, no, once you turn 40, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
You've caught me. So anyway, because I'm in my 40s. But Marty, I feel like he's successful in life and he knows it. Just he's had a good life. His kids could not have made him more happier than they've made him. He never pushed them to fish. Like, well, I guess we let them, but like, led them in that direction.
Group activity. Yeah.
And so he never said they had to. So actually, he's obviously tickled. Nothing he loves more than traveling with the boys. Oh my gosh, that makes him happy. And them fishing. Marshall being out here with him right now. He wants Mitchell out here. He's just loving it. But he's successful. And we say all the time, don't wait until you're retired to do the things you want to do. Because you need to do the thing. If he says all the time, he said, if I died today, I did everything I ever wanted. Oh. And so, it's a good thing. We really feel that way. And so the boys, I do cheer harder for them. That's kind of what I was saying because I want them to accomplish so much, so fast, and just
be wildly successful.
Because they do appreciate it. They love it. They watched Marty do it a hard way. They don't for a second take for granted the fact that we've helped get them out there a lot quicker than if they had to go do it all by themselves. So when people are critical saying, oh, their daddy bought them that and their daddy bought them this, and I'm like, you just want your kids to succeed. They're not hateful brats. They're appreciative. They love it. You're going to do everything you can.
Well, and they're probably doing it for their kids too, just in a different way.
Yeah, a different sport.
Different.
People spend thousands on baseball and football and everything. You're going to do what you can to help them succeed, especially when you know they're good people. They work hard. They appreciate what you do for them.
Matt had to sleep in cars to get, to tournaments to make it work, but he would never want that for anyone else. Yeah, just because he did it doesn't mean someone else needs to do it to appreciate it the same. It's just
that's right.
Okay, so during tournament season, do you watch live?
I'm just going to be completely honest. Only if my family's on it.
Yep.
If somebody will say, oh my, like this morning, somebody said there's a drone on Marty, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I went and signed on to it. But I think it stresses me out to watch
other
live.
people.
And I'll check in on it from time to time. Now I watch the score tracker religiously.
Same.
But I really just watch live if I think the boys are going to be on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might check out like if Casey or Johnny, somebody, like I'll check in and see how they're doing. If I think they've got a camera on them, I'll check in. But I'm so busy. I'm like, if it's not for one of them, I'm just gonna.
I'm the same way. I like to watch Matt, and I like to watch like a couple other people, but really it stresses me out if I'm watching someone else and like Matt is, either struggling or having a good day or anything. Like I don't like it. I just like to watch it.
Yeah.
But I do love Score Tracker. I check that thing all the time.
But see, I'm one of those people like on social media. I would rather read posts than watch videos.
Yeah, I do like.
And it's opposite for a lot of people.
Yeah, so I liked a lot. Like I like all of the offerings, but so I knew nothing about bass fishing when I came into this with Matt. And at the very beginning, they didn't have live on the FLW. They did pictures, and then the blog, they would update the blog, and you would search for like their name. Yeah, I loved that because I could like follow along, but it wasn't like, totally sucking, if that makes sense, like energy, meaning I could just I really liked it. Yeah. They kind of gave descriptions of patterns and stuff, and they do that a little bit with like the gallery updates, but it's not throughout the day, but I like it.
I'm more of a read posts and look at pictures than watch reels like TikToks or anything like that. I'm still just scroll and read posts. So I guess I'm old school.
So if Marty isn't on, is your other angler that you would watch like Casey or Jonathan?
Yeah.
And can you watch in front of the other wives?
I guess I could.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, what is something that you wish you knew when you started this whole journey that would have either made it like easier to handle or just like more fun that you kind of figured out along the way?
Oh gosh, I guess I wish, and I don't know if I could fix this. I wished I could like get through the day without stressing about it. I wished I could just watch it and not be that worried about it and just remind myself it's really small in the grand scheme of life.
Yeah.
How many fish they catch today. I know it's big to them, it's big to us too, but I think as you get older and you lose people you love and all, you're like, I'm stressing about this way too much.
I know.
Way too much.
I don't think I've asked God for more things a single time than big fish.
Yeah, I know,
you know what I mean? And I'm like, and I like apologize all the time. I'm like, I know that this is like literally like non-existent in your issues that you got answering, but like, please.
Well, you put so much into it and you worry about it so much, and at the end of the day, it's like, it wasn't near as, first of all, worrying didn't fix nothing.
Yeah.
Sure didn't make him catch a bigger bass.
Yeah.
And you just stressed about it, and at the end of the day, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Do you find you stress more than he does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked him, like, you stress on the water? He said, we don't have time to stress on the water.
Yeah. Matt's very, like, even keel, and I'm, like, a hyper.
Well, we're there, like, doing nothing while we're watching, and they're busy. They're not going to stress as much when they're actually working.
Yeah, like, we can't do anything to help
it's
necessarily.
It's best to go mop the floor or
something.
Yeah, and stress about it.
And then for a new lady, a part of the fishing family, what is the best piece of advice? So, like, future daughter-in-laws, what advice do you give them coming into this?
Okay, so if I just thought to my own daughter-in-laws, I just want them to be supportive and to...
do you have daughter-in-laws?
I don't have... I'm saying for my future daughter.
Oh, okay.
They're not married yet. Marshall and his girlfriend, I would see them getting married in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe even Mitchell and his. They're younger because, they're just... But they've both been dating the same girls for a long time. Especially Marshall and Abigail's been together, I think, almost 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's got to see a lot. She's got to travel with us a lot and everything. Good. And so...
she knows what...
She knows. And I try to tell her and show her... that just be supportive of them, and like it's not all rainbows and sunshine. They're gonna have really bad tournament days, but the highs outweigh the lows. But there's low lows and there's high highs. And,
everything in between.
You just have to be supportive and just keep letting them chase their dream. If you don't want that, then run, because let me tell you, my boys are. I tell them
they're not changing.
They're not changing.
Yes.
They're worse than. Marty ever had time to be. Like, this blows their mind. I said, me and Marty used to go to the lake without fishing rods. Like, we would go and fun. And they were like, you didn't even take one? I'm like, no, we don't do that anymore. But like, when we were dating, we literally would go to the lake, and he'd be like, oh, I wish I had a fishing rod with me. And can you imagine going to the lake without a fishing rod?
I bring a floaty and I attach myself to Matt's boat, but he is fishing. I'm floating.
Yeah. Like, I just tell him, like, listen, this life has been fun, and you're going to enjoy it. Just support them and just hang on for the ride, because it takes me places I would have never have been. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we would be like, they were fishing Buffalo, we went to Niagara Falls, Yeah. When they were fishing Toho, the first time I'd ever been down there, I went to Disney World. I mean, it's just a lot. And then sometimes you end up in the middle of nowhere and you just cook and lay out in the sun on the deck.
Yes,
but either way, you have a lot of fun, and I really would recommend it to anybody as long as you don't mind just being a support team like that. I've enjoyed it.
I love it too. So last question, and then we'll wrap up a few quick hits. So what are you most proud of? And this says Britt because I had Missy on here, but what are you most proud of that you and Marty have accomplished together? It could be fishing or non-fishing related, because I know you have another.
I'm just really proud of our boys. That's what our biggest accomplishment together. They are Christians. They're good boys. They treat people well. They have positive attitudes. They just enjoy life, and then they're just good. And I'm like, that's our greatest accomplishment.
Yeah.
That we raise likable little humans.
Likable, hardworking little humans, especially now.
They've got a good head on their shoulders. Yeah, we're proud of our boys. That's our most proud.
That's good. Yep. So we're going to wrap up with a few quick hits. So what is your PB and where did you catch it? 7-1
on Lyman Lake, the little lake I told you we lived on. I've caught several.
Oh, I thought it was Lyman.
Lyman.
Okay, I'll have to tell Matt. Because I was looking at it on the thing, I was like, can we go to Lemon? Because there's like lemon and kiwi. Kiwi's in North Carolina.
Kiwi.
It's like, we need to go to all the little fruits.
Yeah, kiwi is our closest lake to us where we live.
Oh.
And Big Lake,
Yes.
know. And Lyman's the small water. It's like a watershed lake.
Okay.
And so I caught several, the sevens out of like 615, 614, so there are a lot of sevens in there. But I had a 7-1 out of Lyman Lake.
Dang. Mm-hmm. And what is your go-to show or movie?
I like murder.
Oh, okay. I like it.
I don't like murder. That's not what I meant.
That's
I
a lie.
like watching murders be solved. I watch the ID channel.
Okay.
I feel like that's a woman thing.
Were you into I mean, it is the book that I'm reading right now. You would love it. It's called The Butcher and the Wren, and it's literally that.
I really hate to watch murder. I think we've lost it again.
I think we were talking about murder. So do you want to go back to that?
Yeah, I didn't mean that I like murder. I like to watch murders being solved, okay? True crime stuff. I like true crime stuff. ID channel all day.
Yes.
No, I don't watch much at all. But when I do, that's what I do.
What about, can you back a boat?
Yes, ma'am. I back everybody in. But anyway, when I was 17, me and Marty went lake together. It was July 4th. And he said, do you want to put the boat on the trailer or you want to go get the truck and back it in? I said, neither.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you got to do one. I can't do them both. I don't want to do them both when I got somebody with me. Because, you know how you pull up the ramp and you see one guy doing everything.
Yes,
and everybody's
and it takes forever and they're all looking at
it. And he said, you don't want to be that person. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to drive this boat, so I'm going to go get the truck, which was a bad decision. It would have been a lot easier to drive the boat on the trailer. So I went up there, can't even explain the embarrassment that I experienced. And while he's setting the boat like this right here,
and just
watch. He don't get out of frame. That don't bother him. He's one of them do it until you figure it out. He didn't give me any advice. So anyway, I cried, and some random guy backed it in for me.
Aww.
And so I went home, set me up some, I don't even remember what he used, because it's not like I had orange cones.
Yeah.
Set me up some stuff.
And you figured it out?
I figured it out. I said, I never want to be in that position again. Mm-mm. And so, here we are 28 years later. So what we generally do, it's so funny. If I'm traveling and Marshall and Marty are both here, we'll go to the ramp. Like I didn't have to this week. I got my own truck here, so I didn't take them to the ramp this week. But they'll pull up in the parking lot. I'll go put Marty in, come park beside where Marshall's sitting, then go put Marshall in.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I put Matt in every morning too, but he kind of threw me to the wolves at Okeechobee, so that's how I learned.
You gotta learn quick when you realize you don't want to be embarrassed.
But I actually didn't want to do the boat because it's such a banana peel that I was worried I would run it up into the back of the truck. So I was like, I want no part of the money making part of this operation. I can fix the truck, can't really fix the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, if y'all played Uno together with a group of people and you had to draw 4 cards, would you play it on Marty or wait until you got a reverse and play it on somebody else?
So we're stupid competitive, so whoever had the best shot at beating me at the time is who is getting
You'd play it on?
Yeah. We don't play favorite, we're not
like a favorite.
Nice. Yeah, we're not being nice. It's all about winning. I would say we're all super competitive, but I would say Mitchell takes the cake on
competitiveness.
Yes. He's the worst. We don't like to play games with him. He's the flip the board over.
Really?
He's the psycho.
My sister used to cry if she didn't get boardwalk, so normally we started playing with not Uno, but Monopoly.
So to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't play it on Mitchell because I don't want to see that reaction. I'd be like, because we didn't like, wiffle ball ended up in fights. Backyard football ended up in fights. The good thing about fishing, he's in the boat by himself.
Yes.
And he is fishing against the fish, and he knows it. He doesn't get mad at the other anglers,
Oh, that's good.
He's just he knows it's all up to him.
Yeah.
So he does better with fishing than board games.
It is a very you against you sport.
It is you against you.
Yeah.
When he's playing on a team, he's liable to really get upset at his teammates. So we just don't even team sports.
Single sports.
He's a single sport.
You get golf and fishing.
Yeah.
One more thing before you leave. I'm taking this from another podcast, actually Mercer's podcast. But what is a question you have for our next guest without knowing the next guest?
I think so. I wear these earrings. It's the little. They were given to us one year at a Bassmaster tournament. There was a woman in the town at St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
She made all of the ladies these bass earrings. They're little bass fish.
Awesome.
So I wear them at all the bass tournaments. So is there something just special that you wear to bass fishing tournaments?
I like that.
I wear them a little bit out, but I don't. But mostly just
for
bass fishing tournaments.
Yeah, I like your shoes.
Yeah, I do have bass fishing shoes on too. They're just hey dudes though. And By the way, they don't make this in the women's, but I have a giant foot because I'm tall, and so
you can do the men's.
I can do it. I can do the men's.
I like it. So. Is there anything else? This isn't in here, but is there anything else that you wanted to say before we leave? You don't have to.
I think we covered a ton.
Yeah, we did.
So I think we covered a lot. So I had fun. I appreciate it. I hope this, I don't know, let some people see what it's like to be. Yeah. They probably have no clue some of the stuff we do. Like, it's a lot. So I do think that it's hard for these anglers to be successful if they don't have the support at home. Yeah. And so I think it's a huge deal. I know that, I know it makes a huge difference.
I think so too. So that is our show this week. Thank you so much for being here. If people want to follow you or any of your fishermen this year, where can they find them?
So they all have, their social media pages, but I started TikTok. I'm glad you asked that. I started TikTok, and it's called M3 Fishing. M3, like M cubed for Marshall Mitchell. I told him it should be M to the 4th with Mommy.
Yeah, with Mommy. Oh.
But I didn't do that to them. They're like, stop. But M3 Fishing, I started TikTok. It's from my point of view.
Yes.
There's things they won't post on their social media that I will. So
I love it.
I've got some. It's fun. So
the little TikTok. Bloopers and the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some behind the scenes. I'm doing some stuff. So I just started it. So M3 Fishing.
M3 Fishing. Perfect. And again, I love all the women behind Professional Bass Fishing because, like she just said, like really they can't do what they can do without doing what we do behind the scenes. So I really think it's important to just see that it is really a family sport. It takes a whole village. So I just want you guys to be able to meet and see and encourage and learn who is behind that village. So if you have any questions you want me to ask or any guests you'd like me to have on, please comment them below. I plan to do 1 episode a week through 2024. So make sure to subscribe to follow along, and we will see you next time. Bye. Bye.